dear people of the southern Cameroons, my dear people of Ambazonia, fellow brave warriors of our liberation movement, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this day. Today is the 3rd, no, today is Thursday. I'm still talking, it's on the 3rd in the United States of America, in North America, in Eastern Time. I know it's already Friday the 4th on ground zero. I want to extend hearty regards to all our people of the southern Cameroons, to all Ambazonians, wherever you may be across the world. And you are welcome once more to this platform, to the JMA Connection. My dear people of Ambazonia, I'm delighted to once more be here. I had indicated that I was going to be here pretty regularly, but it's really not easy because I have to combine a lot of things together, work, other engagements, and then the liberation movement. So I really want to thank everyone who continues to support and to bear with me. I want to thank all those who continue to reach out through text messages, some through calls, to offer words of encouragement. That really means a lot to me, because as I always say, we have to encourage each other regularly. None of us is without blemish. There is not a single one of us who doesn't make mistakes. We will make our mistakes, we will own them, and we will continue to work to overcome them as we continue to burrow our way steadily, steadily, towards freedom land. This is what we have to do. And that is why, generally, whenever I come on here, I have to encourage some people and sometimes everyone for the wonderful things that we are continuing to do to hold the forte. Today, I want to say kudos to our prisoners of war, our prisoners of conscience, who, though facing very difficult moments, continue to reach out in whatever way they can to see how to express their determination to stay the course of freedom with us all the way to the end. I want to really extend kudos to all of them, and also want to extend kudos to those ones who are on the front lines, those ones who are truly fighting for the freedom of homeland, who are offering their lives, their blood, their everything to see that we will have a country. In fact, accept my salutes. And I want also to most especially thank our people, the civilian population, the civil society, the business community, for continuing to sacrifice daily. I observed that while an intruder was making his way into the Menda today, the people, without any form of notification, resumed to do exactly what they know how to do in such circumstances, to make sure such mockery does not go unpunished. And so, my people, before we start today, I'd like us to take a quick look at this. I saw this somewhere and I was like, this is real, this is true, and this is important for our people to know. Stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies. Stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies. You may ask me what lies. In fact, there is so much that is going on. The other day, I watched very painfully, Dr. Simon Munzo on my media prime, struggling. He had a 12 to 13 minutes monologue, struggling to ramp lies down the throats of the people, struggling to rewrite history, struggling to redefine international instruments, copies of which we all have, fighting by all means to give the impression that the 21st of April 1961 was an ordinary day like every other one, doing all his best to claim that that day they simply took note of the results of the plebiscite that took place on February 11. Munzu just came short of even lying that no independence vote was held for southern Cameroons. But this information is in Resolution 1608. Resolution 1608 renders the result of the vote. And we have quotes from great minds, from representatives of free nations around the world who reacted to the result of that vote. This is something that beats my imagination. You see someone caught by age, hanging so desperately to a crumbling system like the beer system. Because Munzu is still hoping that even at the twilight of his age, La République du Cameroon's non-Nigerian Paul Biya, who doesn't even know where he is, 3/4 of the day, could still reward him with something. This is why, and some people even watch and reach out and say, oh, I heard Dr. Muzu, it would appear he really did say something. But take a look at this. That's why this gentleman says, stupid is knowing the truth, seeing the truth, but still believing the lies. Folks, I said here on the set before that I will never stay silent when I see an old man who should gray with wisdom, who should be telling himself that if God has given him extra grace to live above 70, because the Bible says that fullness of life is 3 scores plus 10, that's 70. That God has given you the grace to live above 70. That's the time you have to spend all that grace period to make peace with God, to make peace with yourself, and not to use that time to be spoiling the future of your children and generations of your lineage to come. Because some of these lousy things that they do, some of these horrible lies that they tell, destroying and desecrating their own integrity, doesn't end with them. To me, I see that not just as an act of wickedness or as an act of sophistry, but also as an act of selfishness. Selfishness to their own personal future that will be represented by their children, their children's children, and generations to come. That anyone hear Munzu and say, hey, that name Munzu, muscle memory brings me something. Deceit, muscle memory brings me something. Rubbish, nonsense, muscle memory brings me something. Lack of integrity. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about here. So when you're doing those things, stop thinking now. Because that is where the problem is. Because you tell yourself, I'm ready to burn everything now, take care of myself, and the future will take care of itself. No. And sometimes I can't help but find fault with those who fall for such nonsense, even when they have been edified, educated, and sensitized to the truth. And that truth lies, in libraries all over the world. You want to know whether the United Nations on the 21st of April 1961 held an independence vote for the Southern Cameroons? Go ask AI. Simply put, check, a few seconds, it will give you the result immediately. And you ask yourself, does Munzu know in what age he is? Today, it is difficult to deceive everyone again like it happened before, when only the powerful Western media or the powerful media that were operating in monopoly in the various countries could hold a mantle to communicate. Today, social media has democratized information dissemination, and the truth generally comes out, no matter how much we try to conceal it. This is to say, I will find time, I will come back to those 12-minute monologue of Dr. Munzu, and we will quietly deconstruct that nonsense. And I will do that in the company of Professor Carlson and Nyangwe, on this site. And before I delve into the substance of the discussion of today, I'd like to make known to the people of Ambazonia, people of Southern Cameroons all over the world, that this Friday, July 4 at 9 p.m. Amber time, 9 p.m. Amber time, I will be receiving live on this set Comrades Yerima of IG Care and Prizo, the acting national chairman of the SCNC. We will have the opportunity to discuss the ongoings, the things that are happening on the territory of La République du Cameroun, and also have the opportunity to let our people understand what this moment is all about and understand exactly how to operate in this moment. That said, I like to say just before I started this broadcast, of course, I received an alert from the Menda, the northern zone of the southern Cameroons, of Ambazonia, that Joseph John Mute, the marionette of La République du Cameroun, is in Bamenda once more to spray lies, once more to spray deceit, and once more to try his hand at telling the people that elections are coming and so they should trust Bia this one last time. They should trust Bia this very last time in the pious hope that he will finally sit down and listen to them and understand them. My dear people of Ambazonia, I cannot but cheer for our folks who do not waste time to create this picture. That is the arrival of the marionette of someone who doesn't even exist on the government organizational chart of La République du Cameroun, because of course we know that the Secretary General at the Presidency of the Republic of La République du Cameroun is absolutely the Vice President, and so Prime Minister does not exist. We have heard citizens of La République du Cameroun tell us over and over this position does not even exist. So Dion Gute is just seated there because once in a while they have to tell the people of the Southern Cameroon that, oh, there's somebody there for you people, there's somebody there representing you people, so you don't have to be making any kind of noise and all the likes. John Gute is going to make a lot of trips to the Southern Cameroons. You'll be in Boya, you'll be in Bamenda, several times you'll be in Kumba, because the only city we are in the northern zone is Bamenda. You can't hazard out of there. That one is a no. He can manage to be in Victoria, Boya, and Kumba. That is the highest tool he can go in that part of the southern Cameroons. He will be there several times. The reason is simple. Because La République du Cameroun's should I even call it a military government? Because that is worse. That's what it is. There's a Nigerian author who once wrote a book in which he talked about the policy of similicy. Similicy, he meant civilian military rule. Civilian military rule. Because what's happened in the Republic du Cameroun for a long time now is civilian military rule. Because actually, although you have the feeling that it's a civilian government, no, it's civilian military. Because see, the military has all the advantages that they require, and they have the free hand to do whatever they want, so that they know that there's a kind of power sharing between them and the government. That's what we're talking about similicy. If you look up that text, it's a very interesting text. I read that text way back in 1994, 95. Yeah, and the text, like I said, it was talking about the policy of similicy, what's happening in the Republic du Cameroun. So the Bulu Ekang Beti coalition are beginning to fear that their electoral watershed, which is the three northern regions of La République du Cameroun, are about slipping from their grip. And so they face the prospect of stiff competition that way, and are unlikely to have the possibility to simply steal the vote the way they have always done with no opposition. And so for that reason, they are moving their interest now to the southern Cameroons, which, as a war zone, they've taken advantage all this while. That's why you notice that those who seemingly who claim to be representing the southern Cameroons, both in parliament or that in both chambers of La République du Cameroon's parliament are of the ruling CPDM party. Why? Because they own the occupational military, and so only their people can have access to places where they go and stand, plan, and rig the election. So they are now seeing this as an avenue that they will say, okay, a lot of trips were made to the territory, registration happened, people registered massively, of course, they will come away from there with the fabricated results that they will now use to see how to offset the damage that is going to be created in the northern regions. And don't forget, no real census has been done in La République du Cameroun. The last time there was really some census was 2005, and the results ended with Augustin Frederic Kodok, who even appears to have died with the results. The results were never published, and so just light estimates that came out even almost gave the impression that horrible epidemics happened in some parts of the country to make sure that the center region from the blues suddenly became the most thickly populated and not the far north of La République du Cameroun, because they were already seeing this scenario. And also, they trimmed the population of the southern Cameroon to unimaginable levels, to the point where, compared to the previous census results, you have the feeling that some horrible epidemic wiped out people in the southern Cameroons and in the far north of La République du Cameroun. But as media men are looked up everywhere, and there was no record of such an epidemic because they were already planning this. So when you see John coming, they will come and tell, oh, you see these roads that you are seeing like this, they have not fixed them because separatists, all those people, they have done. But now everything is guaranteed, and know if before the twinkle of an eye, this whole city is going to become better than Dubai. This is all the trash that they are sending him as a marionette to go all over the place, saying he doesn't exist in their organizational chart. And you can find reasons simply in this article from the Associated Press. This article was published today from the Associated Press that says Cameroon's president, the world's oldest, likely to face election challenge from close allies. Listen, the world pretends at times as if they are not watching what is happening there, but they, the entire world, have their gaze focused on Cameroon this 2025. They know that the thing that's going to happen in that country is going to be really, really unimaginable. They know. And you see, they're no longer shy in describing, say, Cameroon's president, the world's oldest, of course, at 92 or getting to 93, and who is seeking another 7-year mandate, say, likely faces election challenge from close allies. And so everyone is watching very closely. And so the BR system knows that it's really going to be so complicated. My dear people of Ambazonia, and I'm here today to reiterate what I've said before. And I have some sound bites that will make you understand that this is not the days, the weeks, and the months ahead in La République du Cameroun will not be business as usual. I have warned over and over, and I'm repeating. Fasten your seat belts. Let's take 30 seconds off, and then we come back into the hot dossiers. Don't go away.
No be so? Yes, na so. Now you sef go for France, you confess say for all these 60 years, una be wan assimilate Anglophones to be the big Francophone, and una fail. Why you no pack your back go? Ambazonia they want freedom, no be special status. Ambazonia.
Exactly. What we want is freedom. Absolute freedom. Absolute independence. Not special status. Doesn't exist in our vocabulary. And of course, like they just said, Paul himself went to France. And when he was pressed by Mo Ibrahim, he confessed that the plan had always been to assimilate the people of the southern Cameroons, not to treat us as a party equal in status with La République du Cameroun. But they failed. He confessed to that himself. So let's get into our package. The French government, through its embassy in Yaoundé, has sent out a covert alert to its citizens all over La République du Cameroun and those who are even in the southern Cameroons to be ready, to be on the alert, to take careful dispositions because anything can happen at any time. That alert calls on them to make sure they put whatever is so important for them together and make sure they have enough provision to keep them once at least 3 days before the time of their evacuation, if the situation gets to the point where it warrants their evacuation, so that they are able to minimize losses in humans. Although the French embassy contacted has not officially confirmed that they sent out that alert, they have also not denied that they did. Which leads to one clear conclusion that they did. Because even when I got this audio that I'm about to play right now, I reached out to my friends in the diplomatic community who have tight connections with the French embassy, and they came back to me with a clear affirmation that that message was actually sent out by the French embassy to French citizens in Cameroon. But they did not want to make it official. It had to be covert. That is why they are neither claiming it nor denying it. That is what it is. But so the French, jumping on this and to do public service, went out there to send an audio explaining exactly what this kind of alert means and what measures their citizens like Republic du Cameroun should take, and take now, not tomorrow. Because in France, they know that Cameroon is already, at this minute that we are speaking, at the precipice. Cameroon has been a powder magazine for many years, and now it has reached the point where there is no avoiding the fact that someone will strike the match. When that will happen, no one can tell. But one thing is almost certain. It is unlikely that there will be elections in the Republic of Cameroon in October. In its place, Armageddon, I cannot tell. But let's listen.
Bonjour. Alors, il y a une note qui circule, attribuée à l'ambassade de France au Cameroun. Elle date d'hier, apparemment.
Oui, j'ai vu ça.
Elle parlerait d'une possible situation de crise à Yaoundé. Et elle inviterait les Français sur place à se préparer.
Bon, l'ambassade n'a pas confirmé ni infirmé pour l'instant, c'est ça?
C'est ça, mais ça pose une question
So
intéressante.
did you hear that? They are saying, the first lady says, oh, there is a document sounding a serious alarm to French citizens in Cameroon and purportedly issued by the French embassy in Yaoundé, claiming that there is likely to be massive unrest in Yaoundé. Of course, we say Yaoundé, they mean in Cameroon. And then you hear that the other person says that, but the French embassy has not confirmed. And then you hear the voice of the other says, they have also not denied that they issued this document. Meaning, France, that knows more than you and I do. France, whose military ambassador, that's a 5-star general in Cameroon, has been talking to all the political actors on a daily basis and very closely, they are aware that the situation is messy. Because what comes out is that Biya and his clan are categorical. Biya can never become a former president. But you heard the people of the north. They are clear that Biya is no longer ruling. That Biya right now is ruling by proxy. And ruling by proxy is not allowed. They are even warning him and his family to make sure he takes a decent retirement the fastest possible, or else. So let's listen to what now those French people are doing. Because see, they are taking this opportunity to sensitize their citizens in Cameroon on exactly what this kind of an alert means. Listen up.
Intéressante, je trouve. Concrètement, se préparer, ça veut dire quoi? On a peut-être regardé un peu ce que disent les fiches pratiques qu'on voit souvent dans ces situations.
Bonne idée. Décomposons ça.
Le tout premier conseil qu'on trouve souvent, c'est de faire un sac individuel d'urgence. Un par adulte, une sorte de kit de survie, quoi.
Oui, et l'idée derrière ça, en fait, c'est vraiment l'autonomie immédiate. Si quelque chose se passe, évite que ce soit une évacuation rapide ou être coincé quelque part, avoir le minimum vital sous la main, ça change tout.
Ah oui, je vois.
Ça permet de tenir les premières heures, vous savez, celles qui sont souvent les plus chaotiques, sans dépendre forcément d'une aide extérieure qui, peut tarder.
C'est une façon de reprendre un peu le contrôle face à l'inattendu, alors.
C'est exactement ça. Reprise de contrôle, c'est bien dit.
Alors justement, dans ce sac, pour assurer cette autonomie, qu'est-ce qu'on y met? Les fiches, elles insistent sur plusieurs points clés. D'abord, les papiers.
Essentiel.
Copie de passeport, la carte consulaire, cette fameuse carte d'inscription au registre, si possible plastifiée, l'assurance, des photos d'identité, enfin tout ce qui prouve qui on est, quoi.
Exactement. L'identification, c'est vraiment la base. Et puis, il y a tout ce qui est communication et orientation.
Comme quoi, par exemple?
Une petite radio et une lampe torche. Idéalement à manivelle ou avec des piles de rechange, pour pas être dépendant de l'électricité.
Logique.
Un sifflet aussi. Ça paraît tout bête, mais pour se signaler dans le bruit ou la nuit, c'est très efficace.
C'est vrai, on n'y pense pas forcément. On ajoute aussi de quoi répondre aux besoins primaires, j'imagine.
Oui, voilà. Des pastilles pour purifier l'eau, ça c'est crucial. Un nécessaire d'hygiène vraiment minimal.
So I won't take a lot of our time for you to be listening to these details that they are saying here, because what they are saying here now, they are taking time to explain to their citizens, French citizens in Cameroon, what this kind of alert means. Make sure you put your very vital paperwork together, passport, birth certificate, certificates, everything that you think that you will need in case you are going to be evacuated as a matter of emergency and you don't have time to carry a lot of things. Make sure you have this in your kit. Make sure you also have emergency medication, like making sure you have a first aid box, a small first aid box to take care of you in case things get rough and you cannot step out there and there's an emergency that needs to be taken care of. Make sure you have that. Make sure you have enough clean drinking water at home and all of those things to take care of yourself. And then when you're packing, just the essentials that can enter just in a backpack to enable you to stay safe. Make sure that you shelter in place in case something happens, at least, and you have provisions for at least 3 days, time within which you could be evacuated if the situation requires an evacuation. There are more details that they are giving there. This is a sensitization that they are carrying out covertly. But you see the trick that they play here. They begin by making sure they assert at the beginning that this does not seem official because the French embassy in Yaoundé has not accepted that they issued this warning, that they issued this red alert, this guideline. They have to do that because they don't want yet to let people think that they have set people in panic mode. But at the same time, they are doing just that. Because while they say that to make sure they keep you and I asleep, they go ahead now to provide the essential information required for their citizens in Cameroon to protect themselves and be safe for what they know is coming right ahead inevitably. Inevitably. That's why they go to great lengths. You've scarcely seen them do this kind of thing. They could just give country directives, country guidelines about travel restrictions and all of those things and end there. But no, you see, they have to take the pains of explaining exactly what needs to be done. They do that everywhere, on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube, so that no one will be left in the dark. And this is done covertly. While the people of Ambazonia, the people of the southern Cameroons that are still in the hinterlands of La République du Cameroun are refusing to see what everyone, even the Western world that are not living in Cameroon, are seeing. I have sounded the alarm here over and over and over. calling on the people of the southern Cameroons to come out of all the hinterlands of La République du Cameroon, possibly head home. If you are in Douala, you are in Yaoundé, you are a citizen of the southern Cameroons, you hear these guidelines that the French are giving to their citizens, same guideline. Make sure you circulate it to our people. Our people should prepare in the same manner. Don't go to bed without putting your things together at a place where one click you can just jump, pick it up, and you are gone without having to look back. My dear people of Ambazonia, my dear people of the southern Cameroons, wherever you are on the territory of La République du Cameroun, especially if you're in the hinterlands, it is time to move out now. Move out while it is still possible for you to move out unscathed. Don't wait until the last minute. I sound this alarm daily because of the information I have at my disposal all the time. And I do this because I really don't want us to bleed again. We have bled more than enough. It will pain me if a single Southern Cameroonian, a single Ambazonian, gets caught in this crossfire in some hinterlands of La République du Cameroon where you will not be able to find your way out to safety. The time is running out, and running out very fast. It's when you see the French get to this place where they start sensitizing their citizens even openly this way, you should know that the Armageddon they consider it past due, and they know that the implosion can happen any day, anytime, anyhow. They are also aware that there are unlikely to be any elections in La République du Cameroun. My people of Ambazonia, don't set up yourself to start saying after, had I known, I would have listened to Mbako. I don't want you to set up yourself in that manner. I want you to bear this in mind very seriously. Share this video, make calls, send text messages to our brethren, especially those that you know are still in the hinterlands of La République du Cameroun, in the south, in the center, in the east of La République du Cameroun, in the northern regions of La République du Cameroun. Sound this alarm to our people. It is time to run back home before it becomes too difficult for you to move out. I've been saying this over and over. You saw a little example that they set already on our people in Makenene. Just imagine, in Makenene and in Dikimineke. That's the Mbam, what is Mbam and the Inugu division of the central region of La République du Cameroun. Our people are littered almost everywhere. You recall that successively, local administrators have asked traditional rulers in these regions of La République du Cameroun to make sure they identify our people, and they simply put it under the foreigners, people who are foreign to those communities, to identify them, identify exactly where they live, map out exactly where they are located, and take note of the kind of activity that they are carrying out. Because in times of trouble, it will not become complicated for them to unleash pain on our people. This is why I continue to sound this alarm, and I've sounded it by day and by night. I'm not shy in repeating it always, because I want our people to prepare to run to safety. Like I said earlier, we have bled more than enough, and we cannot bleed again. So before we continue, I saw this message. It just came in on WhatsApp right now from a viewer who was telling me, please go to Google and give us the information that you get concerning that vote at the United Nations that is found in Resolution 1608. And of course, I did just that. I just went to Google and I say, did the UN General Assembly hold an independence vote for the Southern Cameroons in 1961? That's the question I put. I'm saying it so you can also type this in by yourself. Did the United Nations General Assembly hold an independence vote for the Southern Cameroons in 1961? And what comes from AI overview immediately, because you have a lot of results saying the same thing, but I read the first one that comes from AI overview right there. It says the answer is an unequivocal yes. It says the UN General Assembly did vote in favor of the Southern Cameroon's independence on April 21, 1961. That is in black and white, right there. If you look at my screen, you can see this. This is it on my phone right here. So I did that, and you too can put the same question and you get the same response, and then you can text it to Dr. Munzu and ask him if truly this happened. Because Dr. Munzu claims that resolution 1608 is a mighty lie, that on that day they simply sat together to validate the result of the plebiscite of February 11, 1961. But you see, this thing says, however, the vote was not for complete independence. They complete independence because they voted for something called independence by joining. But first, they had to vote for that independence. So that we are independent, we can then negotiate a union that we already agreed to with La République du Cameroun. That is why after that independence vote, it was expected on the 1st of October. You have a new country, and there was a new country called the Federal Republic of Cameroon. La République du Cameroun, that got independence on the 1st of January, ceased to exist. The Southern Cameroon that was freshly getting its independence ceased to exist. And the two came together and formed something called the Federal Republic of Cameroon, with the former La République du Cameroun becoming the Federated State of East Cameroon, and the newly independent Southern Cameroon becoming the Federated State of West Cameroon. And the constitution said it was a union of two parties equal in status. So where does Dr. Munzu come from? Let's leave him. That's a discourse for another day. I just interrupted this to bring this in because someone asked and I needed to respond immediately. That's also what we call an interactive discussion. So let's now go to where they tell you what makes the French and everyone understand that there is trouble. Listen to Abubakar Ousmane Mey.
Mais si les gars résistent, on va aller jusqu'au bout. On va aller jusqu'au bout. On va effectivement armer les réacteurs. Ça va être tiré. Puisqu'on a déjà les codes.
Are you announcing possibility of chaos should the current regime is maintained in power?
Tout est sur la table. Les billets doivent pas.
So did you hear him? Abubakar Ousmane Mey is not mincing his words. He's not eating his words. He says, if the Bulu Ekambeti clan want to continue to force their way to see that they stay in power, they, the Northerners, will go all the way to the end. That will say, nous irons jusqu'au bout. So he says, even if they listen to these threats and they want to, continue to squeeze on the accelerator, try the nonsense they've always tried before, he says, nous allons allumer les réacteurs. It's like somebody talking about nuclear codes. So he says, we will discharge, we will set the reactors in motion. He is categorical. And you hear the question they're asking. So are you saying that there will be chaos? Hear him.
Should we not be talking about a peaceful transition?
Je n'ai rien ajouté. Tout est sur la table.
Et là, Abubakar, nous sommes à 4 mois de l'élection.
Did you hear him? Say, should we not be talking about a peaceful transition? Oh no, he said, all the options are on the table. Tout est sur la table. All the options are on the table. Listen, there is so much that we have to talk about. And like I promised, I will be coming with sound bites almost each day and letting us understand the significance and the weight of this. My dear people of Ambazonia, my dear people of the Southern Cameroons, this is a time more than ever before for us to put our acts together and stand ready. Stand ready. We should not take anything for granted. La République du Cameroun is going to fly into pieces. What will be our fate? What will be our fate? I see people who are out in the diaspora, who are benefiting from the situation, from the war in the Southern Cameroons, who are on TPS or on this or on that. But who, when you mention Southern Cameroon, say, hey, chief for down in Ambazonia. Today, they are calling from all over the place. Oh, when do we organize a demonstration? Where would we organize demonstration? When now? What are we doing? When are we taking action? This is the kind of attitude. From day one, I've been alerting everyone. We don't have homeland. And when you don't have homeland, you fight like somebody who knows that your existence depends on the success of this fight. We have to fight like hell to make sure we take back our homeland. So we have a place we call our homeland. Even those who have been calling themselves, oh, I'm a citizen of the United Kingdom, I'm a citizen of France, I'm a citizen of Germany, I'm a citizen of the United States, I'm a citizen of this. You've heard in all these countries today, they are talking denaturalization, which tells you paper citizenship is no guarantee. Anything can happen to you at any time. The reason you must always recall that there is no place like home. There is no place like home. Folks, arise and shine. We have to work hard. We have to make sure we are fighting, putting in our best to ensure that we guarantee our homeland. Contribute in whatever way you can to help in ensuring that we secure homeland. This is very fundamental and very important for us. Let's finish with Abubakar Ousmane.
Présidentiel, quel est le message que vous envoyez ce soir aux millions de Camerounais?
Non, les Camerounais n'ont rien à voir dans tout ça. Ils ont été tellement résilients, patients, endurants. C'est à la famille du président Biya que je m'adresse. Aidez-le à partir. Aidez-le à quitter le pouvoir. Aidez-le.
Did you hear that? The lady asks Abubakar Ousmane. Don't forget, Abubakar Ousmane is a senior brother to Alamin Ousmane, who was Minister of Finance and who is Minister of Economy, Planning and Regional Development in La République du Cameroun. Sitting here, he is the one saying this threat, saying they will do everything, they are ready to do anything. If a southern Cameroonian spoke like this, where will he be? Where will he be? But they can't dare these people from the northern regions because they fear that they have what it takes to not only threaten, to threaten and to act. My people of Ambazonia, a little southern Cameroons makes us be a stakeholder. It doesn't leave us in the menu. It makes us what? Stakeholders. We will not be in the menu. But if we continue to go the way we are going, we end up in the menu. Yes, we will end up in the menu. Because when we are scattered, when we operate in a disorderly manner, when we give them to understand they can do anything on us, we will keep being beggarly. Of course, they will capture our people the way they want, dump them in jail, and know that they are going to use us to fight us. Look at Kwetom Andes Nkonge. In Ngokutunja, he is a son of Ngokutunja, specifically of Bamising. Look at Bamising children, Bamising women, Bamising babies and toddlers. That it is Kwetom Andes Nkonge who arrests and dumps in jail in lieu of adults who are doing their thing. Doing that on behalf of La République du Cameroun. Can anybody in the northern regions do this to their own people? They will not. This is exactly what I'm talking about. But you see, Abubakar Ousmane here, they ask him, what message do you have for the people of the Cameroon, or for La République du Cameroun this evening as the elections are approaching? And he says, leave Cameroonians out of this. Leave the people of Cameroon out of this. They have been too resilient. They have been too peaceful. They have been too perseverant. They have had enough. And he says, his message is addressed to the family of President Paul Biya. He says they should advise him to take his retirement. He insists, he says they should advise him to quit power immediately and in peace. Let's follow up.
Dans la dignité humaine. Soyez Parce que ce monsieur a déjà tout donné, il ne peut pas donner davantage. Et je prie les hommes en tenue de ne pas se mêler de la politique. Je prie les administrateurs, les gouverneurs et tout ce monde-là, vraiment de nous laisser tranquilles.
So you hear that? So he reiterates that Paul Biya's family should advise him to retire in peace, in tranquility, and to protect his dignity. He even flatters a bit by saying he has given his all for over 42 years and has nothing again to offer. The time is only right for him to depart in peace. If not, and then he moves further and he says he is warning the men and women in uniform. He's talking here about the soldiers to stay clear of politics. That he is warning them to stay clear of politics. He doesn't end there. He warns the administrators. Oh yeah, people like the Queton and Dessons and the others. He warns the administrators, the governors, SDOs, DOs, whatever, and all of those things, to stay clear, not to get involved, because there will definitely be a price to pay. I don't know if Queton and Desson Konge is hearing this. This gentleman begins by telling you that they are ready. All options are on the table. If Biya and his Bulu Ekambeti clan want to be heady, they will activate the reactors. He says it. He's not mincing words. Nobody has touched him. Nobody has even dared him. This is not the first time he's saying it. Nobody has gone close to as much as making him feel unsafe or uncomfortable. Because the way you carry yourself determines how they see and treat you. When those idiots, those Sangobinatans calling themselves the elite of the people of the southern Cameroons, transform themselves into beggars, transform themselves into nincompoops, into ngaputs. That is how the Republic of Cameroon treats them, and they say, addressing themselves to each and every one of them, is on léger. They are light, they are featherweight. So they are in the menu. Yeah, they are in the menu. That's why you heard me say here. So someone like Akeremuna, do not carry excellence into mediocrity. Do not carry wisdom into stupidity. Do not carry a wonderful resume into garbage. If Barrister Akeremuna stood up like this, sat on TV channels, on TV sets, to tell Mr. Paul Biya, if La République du Cameroun does not move to the negotiations table now with the people of the southern Cameroons, we will be forced to join forces with our people to stand for our rights. They will fear him. When you start speaking like that, they don't know on what basis you are speaking. They fear that there might be some power you are counting on. But you are beggarly ho, running to friends that you know is our oppressor, taking pictures with the François Hollande and all of those things. You make a fool of yourself. You become a stake. You are in the menu, not a stakeholder. But you hear Abubakar Usman made the way he talks? Oh yeah, Yaoundé is trembling. They are trembling. Somebody insists. Biya has to go. No negotiations. Let's finish up with him.
Qui laisse les politiciens travailler, qui laisse l'administration, qu'eux-mêmes aillent en retraite. Parce que après on fera moi je dis, on fera des audits. Tous ces retraités qui refusent de partir là, ils vont reverser ce qu'ils ont pris. Hein. Parce que quelqu'un est là, ça fait 10 ans, il est à la retraite, mais il ne part pas. y aura des audits à l'administration. On fera ça.
So you hear what I say? So he's telling all those civil servants who are due retirement, who have not gone on retirement because they are staying in place to continue visiting pain on the people. He's warning them that the time will come for reckoning. Everyone will pay for their acts. This is a clear message to idiots like Kwetong Anderson Konge in Ngokotunjia. I hope he's listening well. There will be payback time. Kwetong Anderson's due retirement over 8 years ago. He's not going. Yeah, he's due retirement. Or if it's too small, at least 5 years ago. He's not going. Bia is not there to appoint. And so, to make sure that they continue to maintain him there, he has to show the colonial administration just how wicked he can be on his own people. So that he continues to give favors. And he's not alone. There are many of them like that. But you see, even for those in the Republic du Cameroun, Abubakar Osman May, he said there will be a time for reckoning. He said even those who are not going on retirement, when there will be an audit, the people will pay back the money they collected after the time that they were supposed to have gone on retirement. It's not what. Let's end up with him.
Mais si les gars résistent, on va aller jusqu'au bout. On va aller jusqu'au bout. On va effectivement armer les réacteurs. Ça va être...
Got it clear. On va effectivement allumer les réacteurs. So they will simply go later if the Bulu Ekambeti tribe continue to be heady. Because the people of the northern regions have been clear for a long time that they will persevere, they will hang in there while Paul Biya is there. But after Paul Biya, never. Power must return to the northern regions or there will be no peace. And that's what, and today they are telling Paul Biya that while he's still alive, they are observed, he no longer has the capacity to be in power. And for now, he is running the country by proxy. So as far as they are concerned, his era is over. So they're no longer there to say, okay, if he wins, they'll give him time. No, they're saying that his end is now. He either goes away in peace or in pieces. I'm not the one saying it. Abubakar Osman May is saying it. Issa Chiruma Bakari is repeating it. Bello Buba Magari is mimicking it. My dear people, the days ahead are going to be very interesting. So even as we break now, don't forget, this Friday, July 4, 9 p.m. Amber time, I'll be live on this set with Comrades Yerima and Comrades Prizo. And so don't miss this opportunity. Thank you so very much for your very, very kind attention. Share the link as much as you can and make sure we get as many of our people as possible to watch this conversation, to watch this show, so that we ensure that our people will stay safe and not find themselves in an evil, deadly crossfire. To God be the glory.